welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana. I am a business coach and mentor for women wanting to start their own businesses, and I'm so excited that you are here. Today it's going to be a fun, hopefully quick kind of video. I really wanted to share with you as a friend, as someone who has been doing business for about 6-7 years now, of just some of my favorite programs and apps that I use to run my business. This is definitely not all of them, but these are definitely my go-to ones that on a weekly basis, sometimes daily basis, I am constantly checking. I definitely specialize in talking a lot about stationary, product-based businesses, but I am also a business coach as well. So a lot of these things also apply to my service-based business. So let's go ahead and dive in, and definitely let us know if you have any apps or programs that you want to recommend. This is definitely a community of aspiring and existing amazing entrepreneurs, and so we can all use some insight into things we don't know about. So feel free in the comments to share some of your favorites as well. All right, so I'm gonna be touching on 5 different categories, and I'm trying to keep it 3 to each category. I've shared before, my mind really works in 3s, and I wanted to, again, keep this kind of short and sweet. So if I miss anything, if there's another program or something you're wondering about, definitely leave it down in the comments, and I will be happy to help you out with my recommendations or things that I know of or have used. So the first category we're gonna talk about is productivity, because I feel like before we even get into anything else, it's really important to have somewhere where you can organize your thoughts, your projects, upcoming dates and things of the sort. Now, of course, I use my Google Calendar. That is just going to be a staple. I literally use my calendar every single day. But in addition to that, I have some great apps and programs that I use to complement my calendar. I really use my productivity, or some called project management apps, to help with taking a big idea. So if I have like a big launch that's going to be coming up, breaking it down into bite-sized pieces, whether that's tasks of what needs to get done, assigning dates to those tasks. If that's planning out content, I have different setups for that as well. So I really use them for those things. And on really busy days, I have a specific one that I use too. So the first one I wanted to mention is ClickUp. ClickUp is my main project management app. I use it just about every day of the weekdays anyway. And I go in there to just keep up with all kinds of things. It tracks leads that I have for business coaching calls. It tracks projects for upcoming products that I have happening. It tracks my launch process, my strategy, my content that I'm going to be posting. It has all of my client information in there. Like, there's so many things that I have housed within this one part. I even have personal things for my life scheduled in there, my meal planning schedule, and all kinds of things. So ClickUp is definitely my #1 recommendation for a project management source. Now, what I will say, it can be a little confusing when you first get on there because there's so much you can do. And so I highly suggest taking advantage of just even the resources that they provide you right on the ClickUp platform. You can walk through, watch videos, get tutorials on how to set up your different spaces and everything. But once you have it set up, you'll be good to go. Let me know if you want me to do a more in-depth video on how I have my ClickUp set up. I would be happy to share that with you all to give you a good idea of where to start. And so the next one is, and I'm not sure if I mentioned, but all of these things I'm going to mention will also be linked down below as well. If you're wondering, like, okay, what's that thing she talked about? If you look down below, everything's going to be in the order that I'm talking about it. The next thing is Sunsama. So when I am having a very busy, heavy day, or just even like the week is heavy, if I'm in the middle of a launch, I love to break my day down. Like, just looking at the week is not enough for me. So I've always been a daily planner at heart. And so when I saw that Sunsama was out and they created this amazing app, I was like, okay, I'm all for it. So it's amazing because you can take all of the different tasks and things you have for the week, and then you're like, okay, well, today is Tuesday. What do I need to work on for today? They have it very simple. It asks you questions every day of just like, you know, what exactly is it that you're trying to accomplish? What did you do yesterday? What are your major tasks you want to get done? And it helps you to block it into your schedule for the day on top of what you already have going on. So if you have a couple appointments, or you have calls or different things already scheduled, it's going to help you work it into your day so that you have these pockets of time to get more specific work done. Like for example, if you're filming videos and you know you need 2 hours to do that, you'll be able to work with Sansama and it will actually block it into your schedule to help you figure out like, okay, when do I have time to do this today? So it's an amazing app. It's also available, both of the ones I just mentioned are available on mobile and on web, so you can take it on the go with you, and they are absolutely amazing. On top of that, I wanted to have an honorable mention for the third one in this category, and that is Trello. So for many years I used Trello. I switched from Trello about 1.5 years or so ago, and the reason for that was just because I needed a little bit more from my productivity, and so that was why ClickUp ended up being the solution. But I highly suggest Trello for someone that is really just looking for a very simple, very visual and beautiful project management platform. I absolutely love Trello. They have a really nice system where you can drag and drop your boards across and do everything you need to do, and I really love it. I even have templates and things for my clients that they use in my program in Trello, because Trello is just such an amazing, simple, it's easy to use. It's also available on a mobile app as well, and it really just gets you thinking and just kind of visually seeing your vision. I just see all of these different things as really taking something that's in your head. You know it's a big thing coming up, and there's so many different moving parts, and so having something where you can move stuff physically, you can put dates on it, you can give it a specific time, you can connect to your calendar. Like there's so much integration with these, and so that is why I am just such a big believer in project management. I love a good paper planner all day, but there's just nothing like having all of this stuff in there, and then you can move things around, and it's just so visual. So that wraps up our productivity section. So next is business, and I actually have 4 things in this category, even though it's supposed to be 3, but I think that it's worth adding that extra one. So the first one is, if you've ever wondered where my website is ran on, I have 2 different websites. I have one for my stationery business and I have one for my coaching business. My stationery business is ran on Shopify. It is on the Shopify platform. I absolutely love Shopify so much. I've been on there since 2017, so a pretty lengthy amount of time, and I will say they have amazing customer service. The apps are amazing. The usability is amazing. It can be overwhelming if you are just very new to things like this, but their system, the way they have it set up, it's very easy for anyone who is just kind of coming in blind, not really knowing what to do, to get in and get their website set up. So highly suggest Shopify if you're wondering what type of e-commerce platform to look into. And then on the flip side of that, on my coaching business, I use Showit. Showit is the platform where I host my website on, and I love it because you have full customization. It's not a template, even though you can purchase templates, which actually I did use. I started with a template and then I completely revamped the template to really make it my own. And that actually makes it a lot less overwhelming that way with really any websites, starting with a template. And I think that Showit is just one of those just showstopper looking things, and so I absolutely love it. It had been a few years I wanted to be on there, but I was like, I just couldn't afford it for the monthly fee. But when I was finally able to, y'all, I had to get on there immediately because they just have such a beautiful platform. They have a blog that integrates with WordPress, and I just really love me some Showit. So that is what my website for my coaching business is hosting on, and I love it so much. There's so much creativity, and it's still drag and drop, really simple to use, and it's just very visual, which I'm all about. No code, none of that stuff. So those were kind of put into one category. Another thing I wanted to mention in this is Stripe, because whatever you decide to do, whatever kind of e-commerce platform you have, you will have to connect it to some type of payment provider of some sort typically. And so especially for my coaching business, which I will talk a little bit about my course platform a little later in the video, I use Stripe. And so Stripe is great because you have an app you can easily get on, you can track your sales, you can see how much money you've made for the week or for the month, and then you also get notified whenever you have new sales coming in as well. It does connect with Shopify and a lot of other platforms if needed. So it's just a great thing to look into if you're wanting to make sales. You can also just get Stripe and Simply Sell right off of Stripe. They have integrations now where you can have like checkout pages on there and different checkout links as well. So I just wanted to mention that because it's such a good one, and then the reports they give you are very in-depth, and then you can use that for tax purposes, or if you're working with a financial professional, you'll have all of that stuff right there for you to access. So next up in this business category is Flowdesk. So if you have ever wondered how I send my emails, where I send my emails from, it would be Flowdesk. And it's such a beautiful but minimal look. I love it. It's super clean. They have these drag and drop templates that you can use for your emails. You also can just bring in different elements that they have into an email. You could do a very just simple plain text email. You can add photos and social media icons and videos and link text, and there's so many things you can do in there. I absolutely love Flowdesk. I do have a code for them where you can actually get, I believe it's 50% off of the monthly price, which is an amazing deal. So check that out if you're interested. When I really first got into Flowdesk, I was trying to learn how to create email workflows. This was back maybe at the beginning of 2020, I think. I really wanted to start doing some email workflows. And so what's really beautiful about it in a lot of different email platforms, so not just Flowdesk, is that you can build these out. So once somebody signs up on your sign up form, they will then be tagged within the system, and then they will get a series of emails that you have already automated and scheduled and ready to go, or they'll just get one email. You can also do more of a newsletter type of email where it's just a one-time email. I really love the platform. I'm thinking about also doing a video at some point talking a bit more about Flowdesk as well, because I know sometimes email can be a little bit confusing on how to navigate it and get it set up. So that might be something. I did actually do a video on it a bit before, so I'll make sure I link it up in the cards, but I might do a more updated one soon. And then the final one in this category is Podia. Podia is the course platform that I chose to house all of my programs and courses on for the Inspire Blueprint, which is my coaching business. I really just have nothing but good things to say about Podia. They have different tiers of options available for just the needs that you have. But if you're wanting to host a course, if you have coaching services, if you're wanting to do a master class or like a live teaching, there's so many different things you can do in there. They have a place to do memberships on there, and I am utilizing just about every single one of those services that they offer on there. It's great. It's again drag and drop. It's visually pleasing for the end user that's using it, your customer, your clients, and it's just super simple. It's a very basic interface. It's not super confusing to figure out how to do things in there. Designing pages, putting the courses together is easy. So I wanted to mention that because I have had some people ask me about more so the coaching side of my business, things I use for that. So that is my course platform, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so our next category is editing, and this one is going to be really quick, but I wanted to just mention the apps that I use for both editing videos and photos. So currently I am using Final Cut Pro to edit all of my YouTube videos. I've been using Final Cut Pro for about a year now, and I have to say the price, it scared me. I'm not gonna lie, the price has scared me, but I have been using iMovie, y'all. I've been using iMovie since probably 2008, when I first got on YouTube before this channel. I was using iMovie at that point. So what I will say is that iMovie is great, and I think I could have continued to use iMovie. And I used iMovie all the way up until, like I said, about a year ago. I switched to Final Cut Pro because I wanted something that just offered a bit more capability, a lot more bells and whistles, of just some things I wanted to add to my video where I could have done it in iMovie, but it was just taking a lot longer to make those things happen. So I still would use iMovie to this day. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And what's great is it's free. It comes with your Mac. So it's not really like, or it should be anyway, that could have changed, but I believe it's free and it comes with the Mac. Final Cut Pro is a bit more expensive, so I definitely understand if you're like, woo girl, but it's a one-time payment, and I can definitely say that my return on the investment has come, for me being able to make the videos the way I want to make them. It's been amazing. And then the other one I wanted to mention also that I used to use briefly for a little bit was Adobe Premiere. I do have some experience with that as well. So if you've been considering Adobe Premiere, that is another really great one as well. I will say though, and it could be because I'm more of a Mac user, so it was a bit of an adjustment to learn. just again, I encourage watching tutorials and really getting familiar with the software. I'm a pretty good person with technology, and I was even getting confused a lot, so I would just definitely suggest watching just some YouTube tutorials and just kind of getting a basic understanding of how things work on there, and you'll be just fine. And then the last thing in this category for editing is more so for photos. I use Photoshop and Lightroom. So for a lot of my product photos that I use on my Shopify website, that I post on Instagram and different things like that, I use Lightroom. Lightroom is both on the computer or an app on the phone. And you can also use Photoshop, which would be on the computer if you really need like the whole shebang. I used to use Photoshop very heavily when I was a photographer back in the day, but I've since kind of downsized to Lightroom just because my needs are very simple now. I'm not doing a whole lot of crazy editing. I'm not really doing pick photos of people anymore. So it's definitely easy and quick, and I can do it right on my phone from Lightroom. So I would highly suggest looking into that. And that is available through the Adobe Cloud services. Okay, so we have two more categories. The next one is design. So I am a graphic designer at heart. I love designing all of my graphics and just different things you see in these videos and on my social media platforms. And so my favorite place currently to this day right now to do graphics is Canva. And I love it. I love using templates. I love making things from scratch on there. I do my YouTube thumbnails in Canva now. And the reason for that is because it's very quick on the go. So if I do need to do it on my phone, I have that capability. It's very easy, drag and drop. And if I need help, my sister helps me occasionally. So it's easy for her to just get on and pick up where I left off. We've started designing all of my workbooks and things for my coaching business in there. And it's just nice. It's just really nice. It's simple. There's not a whole lot of extra going on. And I like that none of the stuff is saved on my computer. So it's not a ton of files being, taking up space. So that's always great as well. But when I need to get down to the nitty gritty and get into it, when I'm designing my products and different things like that, I use Illustrator and InDesign. Those are my two forever loves. Absolutely love them, and they are used for a lot of different reasons, but specifically when I'm designing notebooks, the pages of notebooks or my journals, my planners, my tumblers, pouches, all of that stuff I design in mainly Illustrator, but definitely InDesign for the pages inside of notebooks and planners. So wanted to mention those. And then our final category is YouTube/social media. I wanted to just mention a few things kind of in that realm as well. So if you are looking for something to schedule social media, specifically I'm talking about Instagram and Facebook, I would definitely check out the Facebook Creator Studio. It's actually built right into your Facebook Business Manager. It's great. You don't have to worry about paying for anything extra, and you can do both Instagram and Facebook through there. You can schedule all of the things, and it's very nice. It's simple, and I love that it's just there's no extra payment, because a lot of the other schedulers, I have used many. I've used Planoly, I've used Later, I've used Co-Scheduler, I think was the name of it, Hootsuite. All of those are wonderful, but I find that most of the time a lot of my posting happens in real time. It might just be because I'm doing a lot of things myself, but the Facebook Business Manager is nice when I do want to plan out a couple of things in advance, and it's just really easy to get in and do what you have to do. The next app under this category is YouTube Studio. So a lot of people, it's weird because sometimes people don't know about this, but YouTube has an app called YouTube Studio. And this is a great one because it's not YouTube. It's strictly just going to be about your channel only. So you don't have to worry about like going to YouTube, having to navigate through a whole bunch of other people's videos to get to your channel and all that stuff. This is going to be specifically your channel. You get on, you can see all of your subscribers, the amount of views, you can see all of your comments, how much money you're making for the month. It's all right within there, as well as just a place for you to see analytics, which is really nice, and it's in a mobile friendly version. So I really like YouTube Studio. If you are a YouTuber, then you already are familiar with the studio portion of YouTube. So this is basically the app form of that on the phone, and I use it pretty much every single day at some point to get on. I respond to comments through there as well. So it's really, really nice. And I like that it's just kind of like its own thing separate from the YouTube app. And then the last thing I wanted to mention as well under this YouTube-ish category is Epidemic Sound. That is actually the site I use to get all of my music for my videos, my promotional videos. I've been using it for years. I really love it, and they have so many different genres on there. So depending on the type of mood you're trying to set or the vibe you want, there is something for everybody in terms of the genre, and there's even like down to like the mood you want to feel. So like if you're looking for happy or sad or climactic or whatever the case may be, there is something for everyone. So that is the last thing I wanted to mention. And I think maybe as an honorable mention, I will mention TubeBuddy as well. TubeBuddy, I don't use it as much as I used to, but it's a great tool for growing your channel because it gives you insight like no other. You're going to see exactly how people are tagging their videos. You'll see what is the best way to name your video just based off of what other people have named theirs, and it just gives you like these rankings to help you decide what even to talk about on your channel if you have like different topics. And I really love it. I think it's great too because it will give you suggestions as well. So if you name a video and you go down to the bottom and you're trying to tag a video, it will actually give you suggestions on what to tag that video based off of what's popular, based off of what's trending, and then of course based off of what's relevant to the title that you put for the video. So that's an honorable mention for this category. So y'all, I feel like I've been talking forever, but that is pretty much it. I hope that this list of programs and apps helped you to just get some insight into some different things you'll need to help with running your business. Of course, none of these are required, but these are definitely tried and true. I love them, have been using them for years, and wanted to pass that information on to you. And definitely let us know if you have any apps or programs that you want to recommend. This is definitely a community of aspiring and existing amazing entrepreneurs, and so we can all use some insight into things we don't know about. So feel free in the comments to share some of your favorites as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.